Alrighty guys, in this video we're going to be going over ways that you can change the shape of your objects beyond what's just over here, specifically adding material to objects and removing materials from objects. So let me show you. Let's start with adding materials to objects. So we have our object here, a cube, and let's say that I wanted to add this cylinder to it. So I want to combine these two shapes. What I can do is I'll line them up how I want them. And now if I just want to temporarily combine these, I can do that with the group function here. So now these are temporarily combined and they'll move around as one and basically act like one object. But if I want to permanently combine these into a new object, I will select the objects that I want to combine. I'll come up here to the merge menu and I'm going to click on combine. There we go. Now these have become one object. Even if I ungroup it, you can see it's not going to ungroup anymore. This is one object. You can do Control Z and reset it if you messed up, but yeah. So that's how you combine objects, is just with the merge menu here and combine. Next up in the merge menu, you'll see we have subtract. So subtract, what we can do here, we can select an object. Let's drag it over our other object here. Line it up however we want it to be aligned. And now if we select both of our objects and come up here to subtract, now over here on the side you'll see that it gives us the option to choose which one of these objects is going to disappear. So whichever one goes translucent, or transparent I guess, not translucent, it's transparent, is going to be the one that disappears. So we want to subtract cube 1 and then you'll hit update. There we go. Now it's a good idea once you've subtracted it to come up here and hit ungroup, and that'll just kind of permanently get rid of that object you subtracted. But now we've removed the shape of our second cube from our first cube here. Now another way of doing this, which is a new way that they've added, and honestly I think is a little bit better, is they've added a hole function. So there is a shape here called hole, which is just a cube, and I'm not really sure what this shape is for, but I'll show you, and I'll show you why I'm confused. So with the hole, this is just negative space. Whatever inside of this is going to disappear. So I'll drag it over, and then I can select both of my objects, come up here and hit combine, and now you can see it takes out a chunk of my cube. Now, the reason I say that I'm a little confused as to why there's this is because any object can be turned into a hole. Let me show you. So I can drag in the sphere, and over here on the side you can see we have solid and hole. If I click hole, now it turns this into a hole, negative space I guess you could say, a black hole, a void. And now if we combine these two, just like that, we've removed that sphere from our cube. So now we know how to combine shapes together and how to remove material from a shape. There's two other options when it comes to removing material, and that is going to be our intersect and our subtract and replace. So let's do intersect next. Okay, so what intersect is going to do is we'll select two objects, and wherever it's intersected at, it's going to keep that. So if I select this and come to intersect, it's going to get rid of all of this material on this circle and all of the material on this circle, and it's going to keep right here where those two shapes intersect, just like that. So that is your intersect tool. And last but not least, we have the subtract and replace tool. So let me show you what that does. I'm going to change the color on this. So with subtract and replace, you're going to select your objects, click subtract and replace, and now it's going to ask you which cube you want to get rid of. So once again, whichever one goes transparent is the one you're getting rid of. If I hit update, you'll see that it gets rid of everywhere on the second cube that isn't being intersected by our first cube. So if we hit update and then ungroup, you can see that it kept that little bit of our second cube where it intersected. And if we select this again and hit ungroup, we can move that piece out. So that's a pretty handy feature, especially if you need two pieces to fit together pretty perfectly. You can do that, and now you have this chunk that perfectly fits in to our first square. So there you go. That is just a quick rundown of the different ways that you can add and remove material from your objects. Hopefully this video is helpful. I mean, like I always say this, you could figure all this stuff out just by playing around with it. But sometimes it's nice just to have somebody point out the different features and give a brief overview of what each one does, and that's what I'm hoping I'm accomplishing here. So if you found this video helpful, then that's great. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.